You know, we've told you about this, but we need to remind you the semiconductor shortage is so serious that about 2 weeks ago, Ford announced it's decided to sell and ship vehicles without microchips that power non-safety features. We do have Ford jumping right now about 6% because they unveiled the Ford F-150 Rattler. Can't wait to see that. I want to see that thing. But regarding this chip shortage, a fix might actually be on the way thanks to a chip alliance. In an effort to keep China's control of the semiconductor industry to a minimum, at least tamp it down, the U.S. is proposing an alliance with Taiwan, South Korea, and Japan. Now, China does lead the world in semiconductor manufacturing, and it continues to fast-track its own development, announcing subsidies for local chip developers. But can this alliance work to change that? I want to bring in the first and highest-ranking State Department official who had the guts and the strength to visit Taiwan, even under China threat. He was the first official in the U.S. to do that since 1979. His bravery laid the groundwork for a crucial U.S. semiconductor partnership. Joining me now in a Fox Business exclusive, and for his first TV appearance since getting nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, is former U.S. Undersecretary of State for Economic Growth, Energy, and the Environment, Keith Krach. I can't believe. Congratulations.
Well, Liz, thank you so much. I mean, what a humbling honor it is. But, you know, these things, it's always about the team. You know, we have this amazing bipartisan...
No, it's about who you're up against.
I mean...
Zelensky.
Well, by the way, I'll tell you what, his courage inspires the world. He is a hero.
Well, if he wins, can you thank the Claman Countdown?
By the way, well, I'll tell you, probably give it to you, or give it to Zelensky.
Oh, that's so great. So great.
You know, and it's really made me think about, you know, the heartbreaking violence that's going on over there, and the courage of it. It makes me think about that trust principle and needing that clean network alliance of democracies now more than ever to take on these totalitarian twins. But I got to tell you, yesterday I was up at West Point, and when I see these men and women cadets, these transformational leaders of tomorrow, I'm more optimistic than ever, because democracy is under threat. But
that's saying a lot, because you are very optimistic on a regular basis. And of course, you had run many companies. You founded Ariba Networks. You were CEO of DocuSign. You are a business head, but with an international global perspective. China has not exactly spoken out against Russia in the Ukraine situation. And China is our, well, you could say our business enemy when it comes to semiconductor manufacturing. Tell me exactly how you think this new alliance between the U.S., Japan, South Korea, Taiwan might work.
By the way, it's going to be absolutely powerful. And this is something that we had been working on at the State Department. You know, when we onshored TSMC with that $12 billion onshoring, now $350 billion of investment and jobs are coming here to the United States.
Look at the stocks right now. Intel, Broadcom, Qualcomm, NVIDIA, Texas Instruments, they're all moving higher here on the news that finally we're going to get a big push here. You just saw the news about Ford.
Yep.
And many other companies are trying to figure out a way to deal with this semiconductor shortage.
And you know, it's so important because this is the most important industry, you know, securing that semiconductor supply chain, because it lays the foundation for everything. I was just with Secretary of Commerce, Gina Raimondo, last week, and we're trying to get this United States Innovation and Competitive Act passed. We talked about that one before, which is a combination of the CHIP Act and the Endless Frontier Act, which we really need as a country. We need to get this bill passed because, you know, it's just like in the old days being on a 90-day shot clock. This is a national imperative, Liz, and by the way, this is a bipartisan bill. We need to make it happen.
We definitely do. But let me just explain to our viewers in a way, and you know this better than anybody, it's a very complicated mechanism when you talk about manufacturing, because South Korea was with this alliance of the United States. Much of their manufacturing is actually in China. How do you extricate yourself from that?
Well, the key thing is you don't want to be making the most sophisticated chips over there. But I'll tell you one thing that has happened to the United States. We invented the semiconductor business, right? It is the human capital that goes into this. So, for example, this TSMC plant that's being built right now, 60% of the people who work in the production area are master's degrees and higher. So this is some of the most sophisticated manufacturing ever, and it moves fast, and it goes in life cycles of 2 years.
Are you worried about Taiwan? You had the guts to go to Taiwan and flout China. You got sanctioned. You can't go to China, can you?
By the way, either can my family.
They sanctioned your whole family.
And you know, you asked me. Remember, you asked me that question. It was the second to last day before my term ended. And I said, "Hey, I think I'm going." And you know, I will not bend a knee to Emperor Xi, and I don't think anybody else should. And why should I react when I can act? So, yeah.
Well, but that said, you know, as you spoke to the U.S. Naval Academy yesterday, and Stan McChrystal, the general, who said such incredible things about you, he said, you know, he doesn't know many people that he could just throw a uniform on and you could actually lead battalions because you have led business teams. It's just amazing how you're able to do this. But what does it say about Xi and China if they look at Russia and Russia is somehow allowed to snap off gigantic pieces of Ukraine, whether it's the Crimea or the Donbas region, that they can look at Taiwan and go in there and say, this is ours now, militarily?
And by the way, Liz, that's what makes it so scary, because we've learned a lot from the Ukraine. We've learned, obviously, a lot from their courage, but we've also learned the importance of legitimacy, because Xi and Putin will rewrite history. Oh, yeah, Taiwan was always part of China. No, it never was. It was a Dutch colony. It was run by the Japanese. And so what Putin does is he goes, well, if you help out the Ukraine, then it's equivalent to invading Russia so we can hit the bomb. And so this is why, and we talked about this a lot at the State Department, it's time we recognize Taiwan as a country, what they really are. And you talk about courage when I'm greeted with 40 fighters and bombers. Can you imagine the people in Taiwan?
Oh, yeah.
That goes every day. And then think about the Ukrainians, and you think of the grandmas who have the sniper rifle, and bombs are going off all around them.
Unbelievable.
That's courage.
It is. And we will wait to see about the Nobel. Listen, this is a classic case of it is an honor just to be nominated.
It is.
We're honored for you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Liz.
Keith Krach, formerly of the Trump administration State Department, congratulations and good work. Thank you.
Thanks so much.